You open your phone for a few minutes and close it feeling slightly behind, not devastated, just smaller. Like everyone else is accelerating and you're standing still. You tell yourself it's irrational, so why does it keep happening? Let's look at what your brain is actually doing. Digital envy doesn't explode, it accumulates. A promotion announcement, a wedding photo, a startup launch, a big milestone post. You don't hate them, but something shifts inside you. You start quietly auditing your own life. Should I be further? Did I waste time? Am I choosing wrong? Over time, it changes your decisions. You overwork to catch up. You hesitate to share your progress. You feel pressure to pivot careers, move cities, optimize everything. Your identity becomes reactive. Instead of building your path, you measure it. Psychologically, this is called upward social comparison. Your brain automatically evaluates your status against people who appear ahead. And on social media, the ahead people are endless. But here's what makes digital envy different. You recomparing your full reality to someone else's edited moments, and your brain doesn't fully adjust for that distortion. Why you are not shallow for feeling this. You are not insecure beyond repair. Your brain evolved in small tribes. In those environments, status mattered for survival, resources, protection, belonging. So your nervous system developed a constant radar. Where do I stand? In a group of 50, that radar was manageable. Online, it scans thousands. The instinct stayed ancient. The environment became infinite. Digital envy isn't weakness. It's a survival system overwhelmed by scale. So what exactly is happening inside your brain? When you scroll, 3 systems activate. First, the social evaluation network. Parts of your brain assess how you compare to others. Second, the reward system. Unpredictable updates triggered dopamine, the same variable reinforcement pattern studied in behavioral psychology. Third, the default mode network, your inner narrator. It interprets what everything means about you. Here's the metaphor. Your brain is a control room. There's a radar scanning for status, a lever dispensing small hits of anticipation, and a storyteller explaining it all. Cause gives you see someone's success. Mechanism gives the radar flags ahead. The reward system spikes. The storyteller whispers, "You're behind." Result gives a subtle threat response. Not physical danger, status danger. This activates stress circuits, attention narrows, you fixate. There's also something called the availability heuristic. Your brain assumes what it sees often is common. If you see success constantly, your brain encodes it as normal, so your steady progress feels slow. Digital envy is a status alarm, misfiring in an infinite arena. The solution isn't to destroy the alarm, it's to recalibrate it. Not detoxes, not denial. Calibration. 1. Narrow the radar what to do. Reduce exposure to accounts that repeatedly trigger comparison. Why it works. Less exposure weakens the availability bias. Your brain recalculates what's normal. Example, if you see 20 success posts daily, your brain thinks success is universal. Cut it to a few intentional sources, and the illusion softens. You're not avoiding reality, you're correcting scale distortion. 2. Shift to process metrics, what to do. Track controllable behaviors instead of outcomes. Why it works. Behavioral psychology shows motivation strengthens when rewards are tied to effort you control. Example, instead of comparing salaries, track hours of focused work. Instead of measuring applause, measure skill development. Your dopamine system begins attaching to effort, not status. 3. Insert friction before scrolling what to do. Pause before opening an app. Ask, why am I opening this? Why it works. That pause activates the prefrontal cortex, your executive control center, interrupting automatic habit loops. Example, if you can't answer the question, you close the app. A 2-second pause shifts you from reactive to intentional. 4. Build offline evidence what to do. Create tangible progress outside the feed. Why it works. Physical, skill-based action stabilizes identity and reduces rumination. Example, practice an instrument. Train your body. Write something real. When identity is anchored in lived experience, it becomes less vulnerable to digital comparison. 5. Compare with your past self what to do. Shift comparison inward. Why it works. Self-referenced evaluation reduces hierarchy threat. Your brain perceives growth without triggering status anxiety. Example, instead of they're ahead, ask, am I better than I was 6 months ago? The radar turns inward. The alarm quiets. Here's the model to remember. Guard the radar. You cannot remove your brain's status system, but you can decide how wide it scans. If it sweeps across thousands of curated lives, it will always detect someone ahead. If you narrow the field, reward effort, pause before reacting, and build offline proof, the control room stabilizes. Focus returns, not because comparison disappears, but because it stops running the show. Digital envy is an ancient instinct amplified by modern design. You are not broken, you are overstimulated. The feed is not the village, and the loudest signals are not always the most meaningful. There is a version of your life growing quietly, uncompared, unrushed. If you narrow your radar, you might finally hear it. And maybe the real question isn't how do I stop feeling behind, but what could I build if I stopped scanning? Let that stay with you.